Hello, hello. Welcome to the Satellite Spotlight. I am Molly Pass with Moontrip Productions, and today we have a very special guest. I would love if you could introduce yourself.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Hi, my name is Herani Argoe, and I'm so excited to be here. So honored. Thank you for having me. I am a therapist, speaker, and consultant here in the Metro Atlanta area. So I'm a licensed professional counselor in the state of Georgia. I help people heal from trauma, and which is the things that have happened to them, and help people heal the relationship between their body and how they relate to things like food, movement, disordered eating. So basically, I walk with people as they heal from pain and the different things that pain has caused. So I love my job. I love what I get to do. It's such an honor to be able to come along someone in some of the lowest points of their life, to be able to be brave enough to pick up the phone or to send an email and spend resources and time with a stranger. I'm a stranger at first, like they don't know me. And they come and they share their most vulnerable moments with me, and for me to be able to walk with them and hold it so gently, it's one of the greatest honors I have ever had. I love doing speaking because I get to interact and connect with different organizations, different people, different students, and help them hear something sometimes they've never heard before. Like, I speak a lot on trauma, a lot on body positivity, body acceptance. How do we show up in this world as ourselves without feeling the need to change in order to be worthy? I love what I do, but outside of professional, I always say I'm human first. Therapist second, human first. And I grew up in the Metro Atlanta area, and so I am an Atlanta native, and I love ATL with everything. I'm an ATL girl at heart. ATL and bleed and die ATL. And I am now living in the North Atlanta area, and yeah, I love to be able to be here and love what I do. Thinking back on why I wanted to become a therapist, I think what comes up for me is thinking back on times in my life where I had people come into my life and walk with me and just support me in a way where I remember thinking, I think this is what I want to do. Like, I don't know what else I would do
if not for this. Yeah.
And it felt so natural. In some really dark points of my life, right? And some really heavy struggling with my own mental health, experiencing a lot of hurt. I had people come alongside me, and not people coming alongside me like, let me know if you need anything kind of friends, which those people are great. But I'm talking about friends and people in my life who would come in and say, like, I want to sit in this pain with you, and I'm not afraid of your pain. That kind of support is what changed my life. And so then I realized, wait, there are people who do this for a living. I would be so honored to get to do that. Along with psychology is super fascinating. So the way the brain works and the way emotions work, I always thought to be really, really interesting. And partnered with my love for people. I'm an extrovert and I get recharged by being around people. And so paired with that, I was like, I think that this is something that I want to do. I think I want to walk with people and support them in their pain and in their healing. So fast forward to now, here we are.
Here we are on the Satellite Spotlight. So what are some of the main, I guess, like topics or struggles that you're helping people through in your practice?
Yeah, so great question. Some of the main things that I support people in are, I specialize in really two things. So one, I specialize in trauma. I walk with people who have experienced really hard things, and I specialize in like body image, self-confidence, disordered eating, right? Helping people heal their relationship between their body, food, how they relate to their body. And so that encompasses like a lot of things, right? A lot of things fall under trauma, a lot of things fall under body image and confidence and disordered eating. But those are the two things that I specialize in, amongst all of the mental health issues that can come with that. But I work with 18 and up. I work with a lot of young adults, but adults in general. So those are the main topics or main specialties that I think I hone in on.
Why is it important to talk about these things? And like, why is this something that maybe we should be talking about more? And how can we, as people in the world with friends, as people with bodies, sort of maybe identify when those things are becoming an issue for us or for people that we love?
Sure. I always say, everybody, listen, we all got a body, okay? We quite literally all have bodies that we live in. And therefore, there is usually at least a point or a moment in our lives that we have trouble relating to it. Everyone has experienced a bad body image day, or a negative body image day, or a day where they're like, I just don't like the way this looks on me. For some people, it's a lot more than just not liking how something looks on them, right? Can be really crippling. It can be constant thoughts of not liking the way we look, constant thoughts of always trying to shift or change the way our bodies look. Like it can be disordered relationships with food, with movement and exercise, things that really can impact us. I know the generation that I grew up in was I don't want to say pretty disordered generation, but I grew up in the generation of like Weight Watchers and
Fad Diet City.
Yes.
Yeah, Fad Diet City.
And it was sad. It was hard in these streets for us, okay? And so I think those people are now in therapy at my office. They're here with me, trying to figure it out. So, and my hope is that it is different for the coming generations, because the crippling nature, that hating the body that you're in and feeling like you always have to be changing it, you always have to be losing weight, you always have to be working out, it can be all encompassing. And I think that more people are experiencing it in the effects of the pressure than maybe some people even realize. And so I think it's so important, right? I always tell my clients, like, we don't have to love our bodies every day, but we do have a body that deserves respect. And it's the only body we have. It's the body that's walked us through everything. Like, the body that I have has walked through so much pain, and it's walked, and for some of my clients, the body that they have is the body that walked them into therapy for the first time. Like, how brave, you know? And so just helping clients to be able to relate and loosen some of those chains around hating the way that they look, so much so that sometimes people skip events, sometimes people have a hard time in the summer coming out of their house, sometimes people don't feed themselves or have a really disordered relationship with food, right? And so all of that to say, it's so important because we live in a culture that says lose weight, that says
be as small as possible,
be as small and skinny as possible. That is what our society tells us. And so where do you fit in if you're not that? Right? And I work with people every single day who tell me, Herani, I don't fit into societal thin. So where does that leave me? How can I be worthy if I don't fit into this, right? It's so much more than healing the relationship with body. It's figuring out, am I worthy? You know, am I worthy? Like, am I worthy of love? Am I worthy of good things? And so
the answer is yes.
Absolutely.
You are worthy of good things.
The answer is yes.
The answer is obviously yes.
Okay, yes, of course. And that's what we eventually get to, right?
Yeah.
But the answer is yes. And it's hard for people to believe that in a society where it tells you have to earn your worth by looking a certain way. And
there are very real, practical, tangible health complications and long-term effects of disordered eating.
And I have seen it all. Yeah. Long-term effects, not only mentally, but physically. I think something that's really important to remember that I work with people all the time on is that there are different sizes that healthy can come out, right? Health, there are like curvier and larger bodies that people can be healthy in. there are thin bodies that people can be unhealthy in, right? And so just because you see somebody who is in a smaller body does not equal healthy, but our society tells them oftentimes that it is. There are real health dangers to malnourishment and underfeeding ourselves, and people in all sizes can underfeed themselves. And I think that that's where it gets really dangerous, because people don't recognize that just because you're in a body that's not super thin doesn't mean that you're eating enough.
Yeah.
Which is so real. I've seen people, and we don't have to sit here and go through all of the, the medical things, but yeah. I've seen people severely, right, like deal with loss of bone density, losing their hair, not to mention mood symptoms, right?
What would be some identifiers, like if I'm an audience member, of like, oh, maybe I should think about seeking counseling?
Yeah, thinking about seeking therapy for body image issues or disordered eating disorders, that kind of thing. I think thinking about, first off, if you're asking yourself that question, you probably could benefit.
Yeah.
If you're asking yourself, should I seek help? Or if someone in your life who's really trusted is asking, have you thought about talking to a therapist about this? You should. That's a sign right there.
It's a sign. Yeah. Right? If you're looking for a sign, maybe this is the sign.
Maybe this is your sign. You need to be in therapy. Sis, come on in. I mean, and the thing is, I work with trauma too, but this is trauma. Right?
Yeah.
But growing up listen, I know what it's like to grow up in a home where your body is found as not okay, where you need to change it. I mean, since I was a child, understanding that, okay, I always need to be fixing something. And that is the story of a lot of people, right? People who at 8, 9, 10 years old were put into Weight Watchers. That is the story of many people. I mean, life is so much better with food freedom.
Life is so much better when you're not hangry. I think that's...
And food is so much more than just nourishment. It's connection. It is culture. It is fun. It is experience. And it is fuel for our bodies, right? And to be able to go to an event without worrying about the calories on the menu, or to be able to have that dessert at the end of the night or in the middle of the day if I want, right? And I also want to say this, that like food freedom and healing our relationship with body and food doesn't mean we don't take care of our bodies. I love exercise and movement. I'm very active. It means that we take away the guilt and the shame from how we relate to our bodies, right? Because food is medicine for our bodies. And so it's so important. And so many people are really dealing with the effects of what our societal body and food pressures have put on us.
I am just so grateful to have chatted with you, but if people feel like they need to chat with you a little bit more, maybe they have some stuff they need to chat with you about, how can they find you and do that?
Sure. So I am on Instagram and on TikTok at Healing with Herani. At Healing with Herani. And then my website is Herani Argoe LPC.com. That's correct. Okay. And so those are really good ways to connect with me if you're looking for a therapist, but not also if you're looking for a mental health speaker or consultant or trainer, right? I do a lot of different trainings and speaking engagements for around the community on various topics. I love to partner with organizations and universities and events to come in and help them feel empowered and seen, and help them relate to themselves in a more holistic and healed way, in a beautiful way, where they can be like, okay, I'm worthy and we can figure this out together. And that's why I said we're in this together. So those are some ways people can connect with me, and I love to connect with others. So shoot me a DM, right? Like inquiry through my website, and I would love to connect.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for joining us on the Satellite Spotlight.
Thanks for having me.